Well, hello, friends. Today we're going to learn how to play a George Michael song called Faith. Ever heard of it? I'm sure you have. There's an organ part at the beginning that most of us probably haven't picked up on because we didn't have our, volume turned up maybe while we're in the car and riding to school or whatever. But here's the organ part at the beginning. Now I'm kind of, expanding it a little bit for piano. This will work well on organ if you have an organ sound or an actual organ. Who has an actual organ anymore? But if you have a keyboard that has a sound similar to it, okay, so we're going to learn the organ part here. And, so this is the free part one I put on YouTube. And if you want to learn the whole thing, I teach the whole thing, even the little jazzy guitar part. We translate that to piano pretty well. I think you'll find it'll be pretty fun to play. You may not expect that they would work so well on piano, but I think it does. Webpianoteacher.com is my website. And you can download my sheet as a member, as well as thousands of other lessons I've done just like this one. All right, so let's jump in. I'm just going to use a piano sound because most of you are on piano, I think. If you're going to do that, I would try to thicken it up playing octaves like I'm doing. You're playing some extra notes because the organ can sustain and swell. There's even a swell pedal on an organ. The piano, the notes decay as soon as you play them. So sometimes to compensate for that, we'll just play extra notes. But it sounds pretty cool on piano, I think. But if you're going to use an organ sound, I would just play the notes I have. Maybe octaves in the bass, or pedal if you're doing a pedal notes on an actual organ. But just the three notes will suffice if you're using an organ. Try to be real sustained. Try to connect all your fingers if you're playing an organ sound. The organ doesn't have a sustain pedal, so you really need to use your fingers to connect the notes. Sometimes you can cheat a little bit on a keyboard and use the sustain pedal, but be really careful because a real organ doesn't have sustain, and you can really end up sounding not authentic, okay? All right, so we start with the key of, the E in the left hand, an A chord on top, C sharp, E, A, da-dum. And this is right at the beginning. It's really soft because they fade in, okay? And so you have to really turn up the volume to hear this at the beginning. But the idea, of course, is to give a church sound, a high church, cathedral sound. So if you're going to play piano, maybe double that A, okay? But C sharp, E, A, that's an A chord. Then B, E, G sharp. There's basically a rhythm to this, kind of a quarter note rhythm, but a lot of times the notes are just held, then you move on. So, listen to the recording to really get an authentic rhythm, I think. 1, 2, 3. So B, E, G sharp, and then that forms our E chord with the E on the bass. And then D sharp in the left hand. So you're going to double the notes on a piano sound. Just organ, just the three will do. Now this, okay, it's kind of unique. So I got all these lines here because you're holding notes. As what an organ does really well is just hold notes over and change notes and hold some, not hold others. Also makes it kind of confusing sometimes. Left hand is C sharp to E natural. Right hand G sharp, C sharp. I'm going to play that with my 2 and 4 so I can add a fifth finger with the E. When I'm holding all of that, while I'm holding the G sharp and C sharp, I'm going to add B and D sharp, giving a little dissonance. Hear that? And you'll really hear that dissonance if you're playing on organ because the C sharp will stay strong all the way through. And then we go to E and C sharp there with 1 and 4. But see how I'm holding those notes all the way through? So at the end I end up holding E, G sharp, B, and C sharp. 1, 2, 3. Kind of stretched quarter notes there. Now, if you're on piano, I'd take an F sharp octave way down. If you're on an organ sound, maybe not so low, because the organ's going to be more powerful, okay? So, watch doing octaves and watch playing too low, watch playing too many notes in the right hand. F sharp, B, D sharp, F sharp. I'm going to use 1, 2, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're holding this, and then the B goes to a C sharp, so you have this, and then to an A. So you're holding 2, 3, 4. So So let's start from the beginning and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're gonna go bum, bum, bum. I'm actually going too fast. They're more stretched out in the album. So F sharp, B, D sharp on the right hand, 1, 2, 4. Then I'm going to hold that F sharp on my thumb as I switch to C sharp and E. Left hand on a B. When I was about 13, I had to play an organ for the first time. I had been playing for weddings since I was like 12. I just learned enough songs to play for weddings, and I had to play an organ. It was a big Catholic church, and all they had was an organ, not a piano. So I had to quickly learn how to do the foot pedals. And, they're just like a piano keyboard, so that didn't, I could figure that out. But I had to look at my feet the whole time. But I managed to get through it, so that was neat. Never played the organ much besides that one time. So you just hold that F sharp on the thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you want a bigger sound, you can go. And then this next one is like we started. Okay, and there's more to it, and then you come through here. Right here at 36 seconds is where we start that little dun, 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 guitar part that I'll show you how to do, and we'll make it work on piano, okay? So there's our part 1. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, on the website, you can download my sheets to help you practicing. Beginners are certainly welcome. Talk to you later.